we're really excited to have you all here today for the first episode of our Evolve 2021 series. So this series is designed to put a spotlight on relevant and current topics related to international internships from different perspectives. And today we're going to be speaking about breaking through the wall with 4 of our amazing students, which I will be introducing to you shortly. Okay, so just to introduce myself, my name is Sabrina Stark. I am the University Partnership Manager for Absolute Internship, and we are based in Barcelona, Spain. So thank you so much for joining us today. And just to give you a quick overview of Absolute Internship, we have been working since 2009 with over 5,000 students, and on average, we have 53 different nationalities in our program. So it's very diverse. This is something we're really excited about. It's also reflected in our attendees today and our speakers. We work with over 800 companies around the world in 30 different industries. So here you can see just a little bit an overview of where our host companies are located. Our students today will be speaking about their experience of working with companies in London, in Shanghai, and also in Singapore. And here you just have a little bit more information about our remote program. You can find a lot more information on our website, but we have a lot of great inclusions. We have an e-learning platform about business skills, cultural skills, language classes, coaching, online networking, virtual events. So we have a really great program for students from all over the world that do international internships. Okay, so you can find a lot more about us on the website. We just wanted to give you a quick overview. And now let's get to our speakers today that we're so excited to have. Let me introduce briefly, and I'll let them take over and speak. We have Antonio today with us. He's coming from the University of Essex. We have May, who is a graduate from Imperial College, London. Hiroshi, who is a graduate from Universidad del Pacífico in Peru. And we have Luis, who is a graduate from the University of Law. So thank you so much for joining us today. And I'll go let Antonio, if you can just introduce yourself for everyone.
Yeah, hi everyone. As said, I'm Antonio. I'm a 23-year-old student currently studying psychology with cognitive neuroscience at the University of Essex. So I'm also currently doing a research marketing internship for a company in Shanghai, China. I'm very passionate about my education and other things such as mental health. So apart from university and internship, I use my spare time to advocate for mental health. Apart from that, as I said, I'm really passionate about my education and I'm really enjoying my remote internship at the moment. I, of course, wish I could be doing it abroad, but as travel restrictions are, it's not allowed. But hopefully when they are allowed, I will be able to go on to complete my internship abroad. And that's me.
Thank you, Antonio. May, can you introduce yourself?
Hi everyone. So my name is May, and I am a graduate. And so I finished my master's degree back in December 2019. So right before COVID and turns in my life, I did an internship in business development, and currently I am a community manager for an investment network and also a content creator. So I'm doing a lot of stuff thanks to COVID that allowed me to branch out and use this opportunity to explore a different careers. And apart from that, I love traveling, again, restricted due to COVID. And I also know the capital cities of every country in the world. So nice to meet you all.
Nice, a fun fact. Thank you. Hiro, welcome. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Hello everyone, my name is Hiroshi Román. I live in Peru. I'm a Bachelor of International Business at Universidad del Pacífico. I am currently interning for Interview in Singapore for the business development area. And I'm so excited about it. It's like we've learned a lot of things here, and it's been a multicultural team in which I have learned a lot. and I love traveling a lot. I have traveled to many countries in Europe and the US. It's been so exciting to make new friends and learn new things from other perspectives, right? So that is what I think that is the most important thing that we can we can get from other people.
Great, thank you. And Lewis, welcome. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, I'm Lewis. I'm a graduate from the University of Law. I was very lucky actually. I managed to get an internship on site in London at Avasky Solicitors. Um, since the internship, they've been pleased with my work done, and they've offered me some remote work and also offered me a job in spring later this year. I really enjoyed it. It was on site. My original plan was to go to abroad, but obviously there was travel restrictions. I was given the chance to intern in my own country, which is obviously very beneficial for me because I'm a graduate from that country. I live in that country as well. So
Thank you. Congratulations, Lewis, again on your job offer. So we're excited to have you with us today. So I want to just go into a bit more detail of why were you guys motivated to do an international internship? So if you could just share a little bit more about your story, like what made you want to do an internship and kind of what obstacles did you come across so far this year, this past year? Um, so I don't know, Antonio, would you like to go first and talk a little bit about your experience?
Yeah, sure. So as I said, I'm doing a marketing internship remotely at the moment for a market research consulting company for in Shanghai, sorry, China. Um, for me, I guess the reason why I wanted to do this internship, it's various reasons. So first, I chose marketing because I'm currently, as I said, a psychology and neuroscience student. However, I really wanted to expand my horizon. I didn't want to just limit myself to the degree that I was going into. Although a lot of people do say with the degree I'm going into, I do have quite a variety of choices in where I can progress after I graduate. However, I really wanted to utilize what I learned in my degree in an industry that also ties in with my degree. So marketing and psychology, as I tell everyone, you have sort of interline sections such as consumer behavior. And I thought if I can get my degree and apply that knowledge to a marketing industry, it's only a bonus. So that's how I came across my marketing choice. I then chose Shanghai as a destination, mainly because I really wanted to connect with the different cultures and experiences, along as gain an insight into the real work life of the marketing industry. I know China is a really heavy networking country, and I just thought all the reasons go well together. Some challenges that I really had to face before getting to my internship. I mean, when I first started university, I knew I always wanted to do a year abroad or study abroad, but I never had the confidence. So I suffered from mental health illness, which made key moments in my life really difficult to overcome, i.e., my confidence. So while I really had this goal of mine to, I really want to go abroad, I really want to study abroad, I want to gain the different cultures around the world, I really had this barrier of confidence because I always put in my head, I want to do it. It was really difficult for me, and it was a series of challenges that I had to sort of get into my head every single time. Come on, Antonio, you can do it. If you really want it, you can do it. There's no excuse. So then eventually came to this year at University of Essex, and I thought, you know what, this year I'm going to put my mind to it because the only thing that's stopping me is my mentality. There's nothing else stopping me from doing what I want to do and achieving the goals that I want to get to. So I went across and just engaged with my Essex abroad department, did a little research, looked around, and no, I wouldn't say by luck, but by determination and passion, it really came across that I wanted something out of what I was searching for. And so I communicated with my department, then went on to communicate with Absolute Internship. I'd like to say everyone was fascinated by my drive, and that's what got me into the internship. And I guess I wouldn't say that there's anything I regret from taking that step, and everything is just making that first step. So that's why I went for my intern.
Amazing. Thank you. Lewis, what about you? Why were you motivated to do an international? Well, you were originally supposed to go abroad, so maybe you can tell us a little
Yeah.
bit about that.
Oh, well, about 2 years ago, I had an experience in Kuala Lumpur, which was an enrichment program, which I really enjoyed and was really insightful. So I wanted more of that sort of international experience and element from it. So obviously, originally I picked Singapore, um, and then I chose London because the borders were shut in Singapore. The job market was already competitive as it was for law graduates, and after COVID, it became increasingly more competitive. Graduating last year, I had to find ways to boost my graduate prospects, and to do that, I had to find work experience in a leading law firm, and hopefully improve my CV from that. And it worked. I've been sending my CVs off to different law firms, and I've been getting more interview requests now. So I'd encourage anyone to take an internship internationally, or even in your own country if it's offered there.
That's amazing. Thank you. Hiro, what about you? Why were you motivated to do an international internship?
When I studied international business at my university, one of my dreams actually was to have a global career. Like to experience a job environment in which I can share experiences with other people from other cultures, and that is one important thing that motivated me so much, because I never imagined interning for a company in Asia, for instance. Now I am interning for Interview based in Singapore, and that's an amazing experience. I'm totally happy with it. I believe that the team is very supporting, so I am very motivated about it. And not only because I studied international business, I mean, the career, which is international business, motivated me to have a global career, but also, as other colleagues here mentioned, the competition before COVID was a bit high for international business graduates and also students, and actually other colleagues from the same industry. And this represented a great opportunity to look also job opportunities outside, like abroad, and see what else in which I can grow, right? I can get out of my comfort zone. I can learn new things, and that is one important thing that I would actually recommend to everyone. I believe that we can always keep learning. It is something that motivates me a lot. It is not that we know everything at this very moment. It is that we can learn a lot from other people. We need to be humble always, and so that we keep learning and learning.
Great, thank you. And May, what about yourself about doing an international internship?
So I'll tell you my story a bit, but like I will keep it a bit short. So after I graduated in December 2019, right? And after I graduate, I got a job in the Netherlands, but then COVID happened, which, long story short, I needed a visa. The visa is not possible due to COVID, so I had to stay in Thailand. So I felt like everything that I did. So I did my master's abroad. I wanted to live and work abroad. I felt like everything just sort of like came down, and I didn't want to like let it go to waste. Even though I'm physically still home, I know that I have an internet connection. I mean, we all here have an internet connection, so why not use it and connect with the whole world, work with the whole world. So after I was not able to move to the Netherlands, I did like communication and graphic design, like sort of like an internship, um, but the company was based in the UK, and I was working with like a medical education company So doctors, they have very irregular schedules. Sometimes I would be interviewing someone at 2 a.m. on a Sunday night. So it was not the most ideal case for me. But I realized that working with companies abroad, it doesn't have to be that way. I mean, I'm not blaming that company at all. It's a different experience. It really depends on who you're working with. Like, because I was working with like doctors and medical professionals, I understand like their busy schedule, what they have to prioritize, and I really appreciate them. Being in the front line and saving people from COVID. But anyways, I after that internship, I sort of like took some time off and looked at like what I wanted to do. So I did my bachelor's in chemical engineering. I did my master's in communication, and the first internship that I did right after I was not able to relocate for a job was in design. So I realized that okay, wait. This seems a bit directionless. What should I do? So I did an internship in business development here with Accelerate Clinical Research based in Singapore by through Absolute Internship, and I really felt like it made a big difference. And really, it's really important because business is everywhere. Um, so right now, after internship, so I have this completed internship like less than a month ago, really. And right now, I'm working as a manager for an investment network. So having this understanding of business really helps with my new job because now I understand like the motivations of people who do business, like identifying potential customers. I feel like business is everywhere. Like even though I'm also like freelancing as a designer. Design, it seems like an art professional. I don't even have a background in art, but even though design seems like an art professional, it is still very business. They're still solving problems for real life clients. You still need to identify what they're looking for. So I really felt like this internship made a big difference and it made me feel more ready for basically any other industries that I would like to go through after this.
Thank you, May. And we're glad that you're not connecting with us at 2 a.m. your time today, so it's not as bad. But
It's 10 something p.m. here,
yeah.
which is still not as bad.
Thank you so much for being available. And I wanted to switch a little bit and talk about comfort zones, also safe zones that came up in some of our conversations before this webinar. So how was your comfort zone doing an international internship remotely? And then also, Lewis, in your case, you were staying in the UK to intern. How are you feeling about your comfort zone? Because this is something that many students are concerned about, about traveling. Maybe they don't feel ready. Maybe they have other reasons that they don't want to travel or risk traveling maybe now with COVID. So what can you guys talk about a little bit in terms of your comfort zones, also your safe zones when doing an internship and these types of experiences?
Most of my internship was on site. I've never actually lived alone before. I've never lived alone before, so that was an experience. So you have to sort of London, in a way, can be quite complicated because you've got to get used to the transport systems, etc., and just living on your own. I got used to London pretty quick. I preferred working on site in London, but I quickly adapted to remote work because they also gave me some remote work to take home, and I quickly adapted to that. In a way, it does you kind of does get a bit lonely, but when you do remote work, a lot of it is very flexible, and a lot of people do get used to it.
When we're talking about comfort zone and safe zones, I guess it's really as simple as you don't grow in your comfort zones. And I'm aware that I hope that everyone is aware of that as well. But as people say, it's easier said than done. But the thing with me, which was really prominent, is that, as I said, my confidence kept me in my comfort zone. So I would never go out and expand or think about, taking on extra opportunities. Or for me, it was just one way, study 3 years, when it's finished, done, move on. Just that sort of simple, systematic sort of approach. But I guess I got to that point where I really felt like I'm tired of being restricted, especially when you come from a mental health background. Your whole life becomes restricted because other people worry about you. Every sort of job whatever it may be, education, they all worry about you, and they sort of just put this cap on you, and then you in turn feel like, you know what, I'm just going to settle for this cap because I can't actually do any more. I can't take off that cap. I can't push my boundaries. But I guess with me, and to be blunt honest, as I said, I really had that dream to, you know, go abroad and study, work, whatever it may be, but abroad. And one interesting fact about me is that since I came to the UK, and I've been in the UK since I was 3 years old, I've not actually been on one holiday. So I've always been in the UK. So that was the most surprising thing. So for me, it was always, I really want to get out. I really want to, you know, explore, learn the different cultures and etc. But as I said, you was always limited, restricted, and put a cap on that. You know, you can't, because what about your mental health and stuff like that? So eventually, as I said, when I got to university, I thought, you know what, this is the moment. I'm just going to do it, because I guess we just spend a lot of time thinking about something rather than just going out there and doing it. And that's where the process came in, where I was like, you know what, I know I want to go abroad and either study, work, or whatever it may be. Let me just explore what I can get out of my university. I think the main thing is taking on the opportunities and getting out the most of what you're doing. So I know a lot of students, when they're in university, they miss out on a lot of opportunities because they don't really look for them or go out and, you know, make the most of them. So as I said, when I went for my Essex abroad department and discussed that, you know, I'm really interested in this internship and going abroad, because we had a presentation given to us by Absolute Internship about it. First time I was at the presentation, I was like, this is exactly what I've wanted. This is exactly it. This is exactly what I want to do. I didn't waste no time. And I guess a lot of people say don't rush into things, but I hands down rushed into this one, because I emailed everyone. I was like, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. And funnily enough, the people that worry most now about me, I guess, going abroad in terms of my immediate family and myself, is really my parents. I don't really get worried. I'm like, I want to go. And they're like, oh, but, you know, and etc. So it's more my parents that worry rather than myself now. I'm more like, I want to go. But do you see, like, that's what I mean by confidence. So I went from that, you know, no confidence, where, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to follow the straight path and get it over and done with, to, no, I really want to get out there. Like it turned into a balloon that wasn't blown up to now a balloon that's really blown up. And I just thought, this internship, okay, I'm going to push myself for my boundaries, my comfort zone, because as I said, you don't grow in your comfort zone. But I also now, I am aware that I do have a poorer mental health than others. So I have to remain within my safe zone and not overwhelm myself. Of course, you want to do as much as you can and, you know, really show that, look, I went through this past, but I can still get out a lot of what I'm doing now. And as I said, at 23 now, it's just one of those things where it's like, you don't want to sit there in 7 years with your hand in your head, like, oh, what did I do with my years, my youth? You know, when people used to call you young and now you're just, I don't know what you want to call it. But yeah, and I mean, that's, I guess, what I say about comfort zone and safe zone. And for me, it was just as I said, taking that first leap of faith and, you know, going out there, contacting whoever it may be, emailing whoever it may be, applying wherever it may be, and whatever comes out of it, comes out of it. It's either a lesson or a blessing sort of thing. And as I said, I'm grateful to now be doing my internship at Shanghai, whether it is remote or not.
Thank you, Antonio. I remember when we were speaking earlier, you said this internship took me out of my comfort zone, but I was able to stay in my safe zone as it was remote, which I thought was really insightful and amazing. And I remember you said when you came to the info session at first, you're like, am I supposed to even be in this info session? Like, is it okay if I participate? And just how much growth has happened since then. And we're so excited that you found the opportunity and didn't overthink it too much and really just went out there. So that's amazing. I don't know if May or Hiro, you wanted to speak a little bit about your comfort zones as well with the internships?
Sure. I believe that one of the hardest things in life is taking that first step. Once you jump, because when you feel that you are very scared taking a huge decision, then that is the time when you need to jump. That is the time in which you get out of your comfort zone. So when you actually get out of your comfort zone, it is when you start growing. So that is what I believe, that I have done a huge decision, and it was it represented a great opportunity to decide to look for a job opportunity outside my country, abroad, and experience such a great opportunity of learning from other cultures, from other people who also gave me more insights on how to, for instance, do research on the markets, or what are the other tools that I could use. What is it that I can? I mean, like another way of seeing things, and these experiences. Of course, I wouldn't have got all of these experiences of learnings or knowledge if I didn't like jump to that experience of having this job opportunity abroad. So this experience of entering abroad, uh, of course it got me out of my comfort zone, and I'm so excited about it because it's like like I said before, I never imagined experiencing a job opportunity abroad, and now it is like a dream come true. It's like having this great chance of growing professionally is huge. I would say it's huge. I would have never imagined this like 2 years ago or 1 year ago. Even 1 year ago, I wouldn't have imagined it at all. And knowing so many colleagues at Interview meant meant a lot to me. They are really supporting. Like before, I consider myself an introverted person, but now I believe that I am growing personally, as a human being and professionally as well. And I believe that it has also helped me a lot because since they have given me the chance to look for sales in my region, in South America region, since they focus on the Asian market. So this is also such a great opportunity for me to learn here in the market. How is it that it works? So this is completely out of my comfort zone, and I'm so happy for it.
That's amazing. Thank you. May, what about you and your comfort zone and your internship?
Thank you everyone for your amazing insights. Personally, for me, I don't believe in getting out of my comfort zone. And my reason is that for me, I feel like we don't get out of our comfort zone, but we're here to expand our comfort zone. For me, I mean, I understand what you mean by getting out of comfort zone. Just for me, I feel like I see it as in like I'm always expanding my comfort zone. I'm always testing myself and seeing if I fell into this situation, I have to make myself as comfortable as possible. I don't want to think. I always want to maintain a positive mindset. Like for example, I don't want to think that this is uncomfortable. Like this is painful. Like no, I'm thinking that I will have to make this suit me, and the formula is very different from other form. Sorry, the formula is very different from people. Like what you define as comfortable for you or for me or for anyone is very different. So, for example, for me, getting out of my comfort zone is definitely moving and studying abroad. That was definitely out of my comfort zone, but I never saw it like getting out of my comfort zone. I saw it as an opportunity to increase the place that I would call my comfort zone. So here I'm still based in Bangkok. So like Bangkok is my comfort zone. But because I also did my master's in London, I also consider London my comfort zone. Maybe on day one, it's not my comfort zone, but day two, three, on, it is starting to become more and more and more of my comfort zone. So for me, my mindset about comfort zone is more about like making everywhere your comfort zone, expanding that, broadening that. And so being able to explore different a lot of different careers meant that I was able to expand my comfort zone across many different industries. I feel like in this world, everything is very rapidly changing. Like just one virus changed the whole world. Like the way we work and the importance of many different industries has sort of changed. So I feel like being able to make everywhere as many as possible as the opportunity allows your comfort zone means that it makes you really quickly to adapt again. And this is my personal views. And as for the safe zone, how I see it is you always like keep in touch with yourself. Am I overworking myself. This is affecting my mental health, because at the end of the day, you will have to prioritize yourself. If you go to work without a good mental health, if you go to school without a good mental health, then you're not gonna feel comfortable in that. You're not gonna feel happy. Your work is not gonna be quality and safe. So, and I also feel like it's also like it also has a lot to do with timing. Right now, I mean, my dream is to work abroad and live abroad. I even got a job abroad, so that was definitely my dream, but it didn't work out because of COVID. So I feel like I should stay in the safe zone, because if I get COVID or if anything happens, like for me, like for example, like immigration law or COVID, that would really deeply affect my career, my work. So right now, given the circumstances, it is good to stay in the safe zone. So I hope that answers your question and maybe give you another perspective to how you look at what you call your comfort zone.
Thank you, May. I love that. That is such a good example and way of seeing that, and expanding your comfort zone, and then also asking yourself, periodically checking in, am I in my safe zone? Right? Like, am I taking care of myself mentally, physically, emotionally, which has been really challenging for many people around the world this past year. And we know it's still challenging given the circumstances around the world, and being in lockdowns and not being able to move and having to do things online. So I really appreciate your insight there. Thank you. Um, and I wanted to just ask quickly for you guys, some of you have mentioned a little bit, but what has changed for you personally and professionally since interning? So what would you say has been the biggest change for you? If you think back to before you did an internship and now after your internship.
Okay, I'll start. um, Way more independent, way more autonomy. I found a lot of it was the legal practice in practice is very similar to what we studied in university. So I was using my legal notes quite a lot during the experience. Yeah, so the experience gave me a lot more independence. I gained skills in legal research, um, different platforms like Adobe Acrobat Pro, Microsoft, Google Suite, all of that. So uh, I'm now able to enter the professional world with this new skill set that I've been taught, even how to communicate with clients, secretarial experience, all of this down to that experience. So yeah, in one word, more independence or independence.
My one's pretty straightforward, but knowing me, I'm gonna take turns all around it and make it a bigger thing. But it's really as simple as I get asked a lot more questions now, and I get to give out more knowledge to people. So before, as I said, with confidence and all the other issues, I find myself always being the one having to be inspired, motivated, asking questions, and being shed knowledge upon. But I guess now with everything that I do more, including the internship, a lot of people are now like questioning me, or how is this done? What's HIE? And it's pretty simple. It's high income earners. So you wouldn't really think of it like that. But as I said, yeah, I get to now, I guess, shed knowledge on other people, motivate other people, inspire other people. And it's really resonating, because even my friend the other day, he was having a conversation about the things that I'm up to now. And he said to me, look, when I evaluated your whole journey, the one thing that I learned from it is just do it. Just send that email, just make the application. What's the worst that can happen? And I guess, as I said, in an umbrella term, is that for me, what's really changed is I went from that person who really needed a lot from other people to that person who's now giving a lot to other people. And I think a really good illustration for that is a borrower and a lender. You, of course, don't always want to be a borrower. You want to be able to lend as well. And we're not talking money here, but you see what I mean? So in that sense, that when you are a lender, you get to add interest, and that interest comes from other people. So when I'm giving out that knowledge, lending that knowledge, or my experience or what I've learned, that interest that I get is from the more people that hear what I say and are like, oh, I really want to know more about this person, or I really want to know more about Antonio. And I guess I really went from, when I introduced myself, and let's not use today's example, but when I really introduced myself, it's more so I'm Antonio. It's not like, hi, I'm Antonio, by the way. You know what I mean? So it's a big difference. And I guess that's just in terms of my personal development, in terms of academically and professionally. I'm sending more professional emails, first of all. So it's not no just, but yeah, I mean, I'm just really eager now to really do more. And I guess that sort of, how can I put it? So I guess that sort of balloon that had no air that's now been pumped with it, as I guess is just going everywhere, and I'm always networking with people. I'm always trying to find what can I get out of people, like, oh, like it's not really about, oh, you know and as well, like, I really find myself saying no to a lot more things now as well. So before I really wanted, I was that yes man, just taking up anything and everything that I could, because I just thought this is going to do something for me. But you get to that stage where it's like you're doing a lot now, you're doing enough at least. And I guess it's right, there's always room for improvement, you can always do better. But when you look at yourself and you sort of review your journey, as you said, from where you were to where you are now, you really look at things and you're like, I think someone else in the panel said it as well, is that I would have never imagined it. Like, if I went back to the young me and told them, "Look, this is who I am now," they would be like, nah, you're bluffing, there's no way, sort of thing. And it's just, I guess, something that's really, like, I don't want to use inspiring, but it's really amazing in a sense, because it goes to show like how much things can develop into if you just give it that time, and if you give it that passion or commitment. Because I think everything in time, just as long as you know where you're going, that was the thing for me. As long as you know where you're going, where you want to end up. For me, it was different because a lot of students go into university not knowing what they want to do or changing their minds, and But my experience, my personal experience, is basically shaped where I want to go, what I want to do, and what I am doing now, and that including the internship as well. Before, I had so many ideas that I don't know, like, did I do any of them? No, but when you put your mind to something, you really give it the time of day. Right now, my internship, the only thing I complain about is that because it's remotely, China is 8 hours ahead. So their 2 p.m. meetings is my 6, 7 a.m., which is like, gotta wake up and, get in this meeting. But everything is a challenge in itself. And even though I've got to wake up at 6, 7 a.m. for these meetings, I tell myself, no, I'm not going to say, can we make it later? I'm going to really push myself and tell myself, look, this will be good experience, good practice. And that, I guess how I describe the transition goes to show that, someone else or someone who hasn't developed might look at it like 6 a.m. I'm emailing them saying, no, do this 2 hours later. But I'm like, no, I'm not complaining. I'll do it. Why not? What's the worst that could happen? I guess that's just how my mentality has developed now. It's more of a why not? What's the worst that could happen sort of thing.
Amazing. Thank you. Mayor Hito, what has changed for you personally or professionally since interning?
Personally, I felt more independent and I felt like I'm more in control. And that doesn't only mean like I'm in control of my time, but I'm also in control what I want to do. The difference between internshipping and working as a professional is that when you're doing an internship, you're there to learn. You can ask your employer to do whatever you want to learn. They're always going to give you a chance, and you always have like room to make mistakes and learn from that. And but if you're like working in a professional role, it feels like you don't have that much room to make mistakes. I mean, you can still make mistakes, but they're less lenient about it because they expect you to already have to like know something, while an internship is like the perfect opportunity to learn something. So really, I was more like I felt more independent, and I felt like um, I was able to like ask for what I want better, and I also learned how to say no. So like Antonio mentioned, it made me feel easier to say no because like at some point you're going to learn about like how much you can take at some time, and there's no right or wrong answer. Like different people can handle different things at different times. And professionally, I did an internship in business development, so I really find that useful. For me, I want to have a career in design, and I don't have a background in art. So I feel like having this background in business development actually has put me at an advantage because I understand the customers, understand what clients, what customers, what the business wants, which may not always, which the same familiarity might not be amongst those who have like a predominantly arts background. Not saying that people who are from an arts background don't understand business, but for me, I just felt like understanding business gave me an advantage because it allows me to like understand the clients better, and also because I'm also working part-time for as a community manager for investment network. Obviously, having done an internship in business development really helped me a lot. And one of the bonus thing that I got was that the company that I was interning with was a clinical research company. So all the clinical stages at clinical trials, phase one through three, like before the drug was developed, like how long it takes or like what kind of process that it goes through before it goes to the public. I learned a lot about that, and it's really useful. I really enjoyed it when someone asks like, so is the COVID vaccine safe? Of course it is. It goes through all these rigorous clinical trials. So the only difference is like the time scale and everything. So I was like understanding the industry better allowed me to explain something that is so important to everyone's lives right now. And I just really enjoyed that.
Well, in my case, I would say that one important thing that changed personally is the routine. I I believe that my colleagues also have changed their routines because of the, let's say, the schedule of the job. Then also because of the time zone. I now, since my internship started, I now wake up like at 6 a.m. or 5:30 a.m. so that I can start my day like and get the best out of my day, right? So I can start doing exercises from the like just to wake up properly, and this also gives me motivation because the body is gets more energy, and so it's prepared for the routine. So since also in the business development area or sales team, we need to be very resilient when reaching out to clients, when giving some when you approach to clients with a professional email or on LinkedIn, and then they don't answer back, but you still keep doing your best, you keep contacting companies, because that is what is important for a business development intern, or as or when you are a sales intern, right? And not only in those teams, but also in life, you need to be very resilient. And I knew it before interning. I knew that before interning, but now I am very convinced that because of the internship, I know that we need to get the best out of the day every day. Like every day is a new beginning. Every day is a new opportunity for us to become better professionals, to grow as a human being. So this opportunity of beginning the day very early and starting doing exercises, having breakfast so early, now be like having a call at the morning, or starting your day taking notes what I'm going to do today, like a to-do list for today, so that you can accomplish your goals every day. So that is an amazing thing that has changed in my life. So that is very important, so that you keep also changing your way of doing things every day, because sometimes you can see that yesterday I didn't do some things, but now I have the chance to do more things, or I have the chance to change some things that I have done before, right? So this is an amazing opportunity. Every day is an amazing opportunity for all of us to keep improving ourselves, to learn new things, to change the way we do things, because we may think that today we know that probably one of the best ways in which we can do many things, but once you hear other people, how they think, how they think that they can do the same things but in another way, that is a very fruitful and insightful comment or message from other people, because you now understand that your perspective, your point of view was not like actually the real truth, or the like the absolute truth, but you understand that almost everything can be can be done and seen in different ways, and you need also to respect other perspectives, and so that you can keep learning. So that is one amazing thing that I have. I think that I have changed professionally and personally.
It's amazing. Antonio, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just I was going through what I said about I asked like people ask me more questions. I just wanted to clarify, even though people ask me more questions, it doesn't mean stop asking questions. That's what I want to clarify, because I mean part of what's changed as well is that I have more confidence to ask about something or ask why or how, because when you put it into perspective, all of us here are human, and when you're going to intern abroad or for internationally, sorry, you obviously need to become aware that they can only understand that we are from different cultures. So the way something is expressed from them to you might be different the way you express yourselves to them. So with my internship, although I said I ask a lot, people ask me a lot more questions. I do know that if I have a task given to me or a role or just general inquiry, I do have to ask. And you're not just gonna shy away and sit there and be like, oh, let me just assume this is what they meant. You've really got to have that confidence, and I think asking as well shows a really like keenness to learn and develop. And you don't want to just assume this is how the task is to be done, and you get to doing the task and it's not how you wanted it to be, because then you'll be like, why didn't I just ask? So it's just avoiding those scenarios where it's actually okay to ask questions. And as I said, although I get asked a lot more questions, we still need to ask ourselves. We still need to ask other people questions, because every day is a learning experience and knowledge is power. So I just wanted to clarify that it doesn't mean that I stop asking questions.
No, thank you, Antonio. And what you say, that's really important learning, I think, from students in any of our internships, no matter what format they take on, is having that confidence to ask questions. Because students, the interns, they're often scared to ask questions, because you don't want to bother someone, because you're afraid that it might make you look bad if you ask the question. So having that confidence to ask questions in the workplace, and also across cultures, is a huge learning skill. So that's amazing. And I want to just ask you guys really quick, so we can ask the audience what questions they want to ask you. One advice that you would give to people right now that are really struggling, that have hit the wall, that they're just like, I'm over this situation, whatever the situation might be personally for them. What would you give as an advice to someone?
Illustratively, if you hit the wall, I'd say don't keep going at the wall. That's the first thing. When you hit the wall, recognize you've hit the wall first of all, and then recognize that to be able to climb that wall, you are going to have to set yourself some ladders. So for me, when I hit the wall, and I didn't find a way over that wall, because I just kept running at the wall, thinking, I don't know, I'm Hulk, I'll get through that wall somehow just by going at it. I just told myself, look, with every difficulty and every hardship, it's part of life. We all go through our trials and tribulations. It's a must, it's a necessity. We have to do it, because if we didn't have that, we wouldn't know how to be better. And I solely and personally believe that the hardships and difficulties that we face when approaching something aren't there to break our backs and leave us on the floor forever. They're there to sort of make us stronger. It's like almost like a muscle. When you go to work out, your muscles are actually tearing, and in as a result, they form back stronger. And that's how I'd say is my advice for when you hit the wall. Recognize that you've hit the wall. Then just evaluate the situation, take a step back, and look at what's going on. Because as humans, we have this sort of selective attention that when we see an issue, for example, the issues here, we forget that there's a lot of thing going around as well, happening around, sorry, the issue, but we just focus on this one thing and it distracts us from the rest. So again, yeah, I just say, just recognize that you've hit the wall, take some time out, take a step back, and just figure out how you're going to set yourself those ladders. Because for me, it was just one of those ones where I just said to myself, look, I've had enough. But if I've had enough, what am I going to do and how am I going to do it? And sometimes you just got to write down a plan. And it sounds like really mainstream and not original, but these things are there because someone else has been through them, and they're sort of like, telling you, look, this is what helped me. And you know what I mean? So I guess you just take out anything out of everything that you go through. And as I said, you recognize that there will be difficulties, there will be challenges, but it does not at all mean that you cannot overcome them. You will overcome them. You just got to keep hopeful, keep patient, and as Hiro said, be humble, because these things don't come into your head overnight or in the next hour. They take time, and you have to do your due diligence to get through them as well. So it's all just part of the experience. It's just part of learning, and it makes up life, to be honest.
Everyone comes from different backgrounds. Everyone has a different story. Everyone has different opportunities and also hard experiences as well. But we all can do it. We all can stay positive and start doing things. Sometimes we may believe that there's like we're scared of overstarting things. Sometimes we may also think that it's bad to step back and think and then start moving on, right? But actually, since everyone comes from different backgrounds, it's okay if you take your time. It's okay if you need time to think as well, to start things and move on. It's always okay, because at the end of the day, when you realize that there is something that you really want to do in your life, even if it takes time, even if it takes some experiences that you may not want to have, what really matters is that you are doing what makes you happy. That's what I believe. It's about following your heart, even though it may sound mainstream, probably. It's about following your heart, where it leads you, and being yourself wherever you go. It's about loving and celebrating who you are so much that it just doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, because it is what you want to do. It is if you took more time than everyone else take, then it doesn't matter. It is your life. It is your time, and you are prepared for it. You can do it. You take your time. That's also about celebrating others accomplishments as well. It is not only about for instance, ourselves. It's about also celebrating other accomplishments from other colleagues or other people. It's about being happy about them as well. So that is one amazing thing that actually I believe that I took some time as well to understand. I would say it like personally, it took some time to realize that. But now I encourage all my friends, all my colleagues. Like they also ask me for some advice and if I may help in something, and even if it's just a positive message, I am there also from them. It's like, you usually don't know what is it that they are also doing, or what is it that they are living, right? So being kind and being very positive with them is very important for them.
So what I did was it's really interesting hearing everyone's insights, and very insightful. So thank you for that. I'd encourage everyone to set a target, and I'll say it louder for the people in the back. Set a target, because last year I had this target that I had to get work experience or an internship at the end of the year, and I shared it with everyone. I told everyone that I need an internship. I don't care if there's barriers in the way. I need to get this internship. So I told everyone about it, and I persevered. And I encourage anyone, if they've hit the wall, to keep going and just have that motivation to keep going, because it's obviously so worth it. And like now, I've been getting interviews from different places, so it's definitely so worth it. So keep going, keep going.
Any advice for anyone who hit the wall? If you hit the wall, first recognize that it's the wall. Second, bring out those cans of spray paint and create some graffiti. You don't have. It is always good to keep going, break the wall, go through it, but you don't have to do it right that moment. Take a break, breathe, do your hobby, relax, get creative, and maybe you're drawing a gravity, some cool idea comes out. Maybe that wall isn't something so bad after all. Maybe there's something you can do about it. Maybe it's a different part of your life. Maybe you learn to appreciate that wall. Don't just, don't overwork yourself. Don't pressure yourself. Take a break. Appreciate all the opportunities around you. Take out that can, spray paint that wall. Maybe you don't like it. You'll tear it down later. Maybe you like it. You might discover something new in the process.
I love that. Bring out the spray paint when you hit the wall. That's awesome, May. Thank you guys for your advice. We wanted to open up now questions from the audience that you guys have for the students. Anything you'd like to ask them about their experience, anything about they spoke about today, please feel free. If you want to put them in the chat, we're happy to read the questions, or if you want to raise your hand and unmute yourself and ask a question, you're more than welcome to do so. We'd really like to open just up this space for anyone who would like to ask questions. Okay, someone asked, were you able to take classes with your internships?
Definitely am able to take my classes, but the reason I'm smiling at it is not because it's a silly question, it's just because it's really where time management and organization comes into it. Because when you're doing an internship remotely, the hours are, I guess, really down to you, because of course you're not clocking in or clocking out sort of thing. My company, they told me my working hours in my time zone. However, as I said, you're not clocking in and you're not clocking out, so you really have to organize your time and work around your timetable and schedule and find out where can I fit in a few hours for the task that I've been given here, where can I fit a few hours here to research and be proactive sort of thing. And yeah, I guess that's the joy of remote interning remotely, is that you really gain a sense of time management and organization, especially in different time zones. As I said, I am waking up at 6 a.m. for their 2 p.m. meeting, so of course I know I'm not going to go to sleep the night before at 2 a.m. So it's really just about becoming organized in that sense. And yeah, of course you will be able to attend your classes. Personally, if you're not able to attend your classes, then I think there's courses for time management organization.
Great, thank you. And along with that question, yeah, they're wondering what your schedule is like. How often were you working directly with your supervisor company? So how often were you guys speaking with your company?
I work directly with my supervisor. We have 2 meetings every week. One meeting is on Wednesdays, time in Peru, because we need to also manage the time zones. On Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. time in Peru, which is Thursday 9:30 a.m. So in the morning, so it's 13 hours. So that is one meeting I have with my supervisor. So it's like for a catch up. So what is it that I am doing, like for guidance, or like for helping me for certain or specific clients. That is one meeting. The other meeting is with the whole team of the business development area or team, and that is on Sundays. Well, time in Peru again. Sundays at 9:30 p.m. So that is Monday 10:30 a.m. in Singapore. So well, that is a great schedule for me. Actually, I have to adapt to that schedule. So because of that, I need to create a routine from Sunday to Friday time in Peru, because since I start the meeting of the BD business development team on Sundays, so like my week starts on Sunday evenings, and then the whole week I start reaching out to clients. So I work directly with my supervisor, but also also the CEO, the business development manager, and also other colleagues help me with my job. So it is great to see great support, and to see like they are a really warm team. So that is very exciting and motivating.
I would just add on to that as well that with the question what your schedule was like and how often do you work directly with your supervisor, the first part of it, what was your schedule like? When I first started, of course, as I said, you're gonna make mistakes. So all of it is part of learning, and you're not gonna get the schedule right the first few times. Or I mean, if you do, then kudos to you. But for me, I got it wrong a few times, and I had to put a world clock on my iPhone, to just be aware of things that. And these are the things, as I said, as you go on, you learn and you gain. Okay, this is how I can sort of give myself an advantage, and what can I make the most out of it is, like with the second question as well, how often do you work directly with your supervisor? This ties in as well with the last question we had is when you hit the wall. When you come to these situations or difficulties, or how your second part question, how often do you work directly with your supervisor? It really comes into play when life gives you lemons, make lemonade, because how often you work directly with your supervisor. I work with them as much as there's a project. As for research marketing, you have to write proposals and receive proposals and then work with the organization. I meet my supervisor every Monday just to brief myself, and every Friday to debrief myself. However, when I say when life gives you lemons, make lemonade, I will probably message my supervisor or my lead when he tells me, oh, this week or these few days we might not have nothing, so you can just relax. I'll message him and be like, well, what can I do in the meantime? Is there anything I can research? Is there anything I can look up? So that's what I mean by making lemonade when life gives you lemons. You don't have to stick to that strict, this is how often you work or this is your schedule. Sometimes you want to do more. If you know you have spare time, you want to do more. And sometimes as well, like as I said, you make mistakes. I was in a focus group, and the the the, the focus group was in Mandarin. So of course I didn't understand what was going on, but I had to put the translation on Zoom because we had an interpreter. And I received a message from my supervisor, and he was like, "Oh, can you do the focus group in English?" And I messaged him back. I said, "You want me to translate the Mandarin to English?" And he was like, "No, of course not. You don't know any Mandarin." I said to him, "Oh, thank God," because I was really just looking up courses for Mandarin quickly to learn and be able to do this. So yeah, it's all just there's also fun and like interesting moments in it. And like I said, everything is learning and really adjusting and adapting.
Absolutely agree with you. And actually, that reminds me of one message from my supervisor. Like the first time I had a call with a client, I arranged a meeting and I had this call with the client, and my supervisor told me like, Hiroshi, connect 15 minutes before the client's meeting. So we're going to have a quick catch up. I'm going to help you out, and he just sent the calendar invite, and when he was there before the client's meeting, he told me, Hiroshi, this is a great time for you to learn. This is for learning purposes. Don't worry if the deal is not closed. Don't worry, you are learning at this moment. So he got out all the pressure from me, and that was very, I don't know how to say. It's like I really appreciated that so much that I felt very welcomed and very like I was very motivated by someone that actually cares about what I'm doing. And yes, I believe that time zones are actually one of the major aspects in internships. Like at the beginning, just to end this quick, at the beginning of the internship, I had some trouble with time zones, but then I adapted quickly because I talked to my supervisor directly. Like, these are the times that we could have meetings or catch ups. these are the times, or these are the ways in which we can communicate by email. So that helped me a lot. That was a very fruitful and insightful communication with my supervisor, so that we could, if we like had some trouble with time zone or something, like there wouldn't be any trouble at all, because we have talked about it before, and so there was direct communication with him.
Did someone have a question? Feel free to unmute yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, I was having some network connection. That's why I was not able to ask questions. I heard some of the talking. All of them were doing some internship and they're going great. But for me, I'm an international student and I'm studying in Delhi University. For me, how can I get? I'm graduating the first year, so will I be able to get a internship? It will be good for my career.
That you mean when you graduate or after you graduate?
No, currently I'm studying. Will I
Uh-huh.
be able to do currently in the first year? After my first year, I'll be having 3 to 4 months gap. So will I be able to do in that gap?
Yes, yeah, definitely. Yes. We have students that do internships at all parts of their career. So we have students that are in their first semester of university and also graduates that have finished as well. So the internships are adapted to your current academic level and experience level. So, yes.
So is there any tip that you guys can give me as a junior?
Yeah, do you guys have any tips for Emil as a student that doesn't have a lot of experience?
Yeah, I was gonna say first of all, I'm in the same position as you. I'm in my first year as well, and that was actually the question I asked at the information session as well. I was like, okay, I'm in first year, can I do this? And they was like, of course you can. You can do it this year, you can do it next year, you can do it whenever you feel like you're ready and you want to do it. And I was worried about the same sort of thing. I'm in my first year, don't have much experience, but I guess why I won't answer this question in too much detail is, I guess, to give you challenges. You won't know until you find out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, someone just sent in a question. How was the onboarding process like with your company? So when you started your internship, what was it like?
Um, at first, it took a while to get used to. I was worried at first because I didn't want to ask too many questions. My supervisor was a very busy person, so I tried to ask as little questions as possible. Um, when I was given the work, I used a lot of my university notes and the resources that were available to me, and that helped massively. I also took some video courses, which might be helpful. So if you're given a task, like for example, I was given a task to paginate bundles with Adobe Acrobat Pro. I literally went on YouTube and searched for a guide on how to create e-bundles for the core. And that was very helpful. And eventually, after about a week and a half, I got the hang of it.
In my case, the onboarding process was very warm. Actually, was very warm, and the team was like they gave me a lot of help. Like they always told me from the very beginning, Hiroshi, if you need help, please reach out to any of us, and we will be happy to help you. And I remember that the first day, my supervisor sent me the calendar invite, and he just he gave me like a short introduction, but he was very welcoming, and he of course we try to keep the conversations like with the cameras on, and so that we can interact with each other, we can talk, and that was very nice. Actually, that was very nice. I felt very welcomed, even if I am miles away from Singapore. Like I felt like I was right there with them, like sharing experiences. So that was very, that was very impactful. Um, Even I remember just a colleague from Interview. She decided to study at this moment, so she's now studying so hard with for her masters. And well, she was very like, she helped me a lot. She texted me on Slack, which is another platform we use at Interview, and she offered help. So that also meant a lot. I really appreciate that so much. I would say for the previous question regarding the experience, I would say that um, one important thing that you can contribute or you can do at this very moment, if you have not a clear set goals at this very moment, because you may have that tomorrow, for instance. It's like I've done last year, because I was like in a similar situation, is that I decided to join an NGO or a non-profit association to help children in their education. So I taught many students in this NGO, and we helped not only me, but with a whole team of that NGO. We helped more than 1,000 children in Peru. So that, because that was very like, COVID affected the education sector a lot in Peru, and of course all over the world, but in Peru specifically, like almost 80% of children couldn't go to schools, but still they were so motivated to keep classes online, and that was very fruitful. They stayed positive in there, and they were so happy to attend classes, extra classes, even extra classes, like because the NGO reinforced or helped them with the classes they had at the school. So it was very impactful, and we were like that. That was such a great experience for me as well.
Yeah, can I just add on to that question about the onboarding process? Because my onboarding process was completely different to everyone else's. When I first saw, when I got interviewed, sorry, and then introduced to my supervisor and lead via email. Then we communicate through WeChat. So when we started communicating through WeChat, my supervisor set up a meeting with me to basically run through the whole process and how things would go, and etc. And of course, at first you're always quite nervous, because with anything you're not used to doing, you're going to be nervous, I presume. So when I went on to speak to my supervisor, it was actually a really unique moment, because so when we was in the Zoom interview, he started, of course, the basics, told me about the internship, the company, and how things were going to go. And then he just ended with, so I'll see you at the focus group on Thursday. And I thought, I only start on Monday. What focus group am I doing on Thursday and Friday? And I thought, okay, well, that's a bit odd. Like, I'm already getting thrown in a focus group. And I thought, okay, you know what? Let's just do it and see what happens, sort of thing. Anyway, so I went into the focus group, and I think one thing here is to remember, some tasks that you're going to do aren't always going to be enjoyable, because the first focus groups that I had to go into was for based for females. And I was like, I've got to sit in this focus group for 2-3 hours listening to basically, yeah. Anyway, so then I attended the I attended the focus groups and stuff. And then Monday my actual start date came, and I spoke to my supervisor again. And I was like, focus group, early females. I'm a bit confused. What's going on? And he just explained to me, yeah, it was, I guess we just sort of wanted to see how you, I guess, pick yourself up. You know, when people throw you and they sort of see if you'll take off running or if you'll just drop to your knees, sort of thing. So I guess it was for him just a test to see how I would manage and cope. And what was good was that even when we was in the focus group and my supervisors asked me, was there anything that you wanted to ask about how the focus group was done, or anything in general? And I gave him a suggestion. I was like, why don't we give the participants breaks? And he sort of smiled at me like, you know, like, what kind of question is that sort of thing? But obviously that's not what he meant, but it was a thing where he was like, yeah, this is actually good. You did actually pay attention, as in like, he didn't expect it. And for me, the onboarding process, I guess what I'm trying to say is that it was a sort of not just a professional thing, but a real relationship kind of thing as well. Like, my supervisors are real fun and sort of, I don't know what the word I'm looking for here, but they're just really down to earth, and we don't always just, you know, have conversations about here's the briefing and that's it, go away. We have our little like jokes and sort of stories to tell, like with the Chinese New Year, they've taught me a lot about that and just extra stuff on top. So the onboarding process for me wasn't so professional, straight cut sort of thing. It was actually really as well.
Thank you so much, guys, for all of your great insight today. We will need to finish the session, although I could stay here all day and speak to you. I did share the students' LinkedIn profiles in the chat if you'd like to reach out, connect with them. If you have more questions that you would like to ask after the session, all of them are more than happy to receive them and reach out to them. And then we will be sending you the recording as well by email, so you can review. But thank you guys so much for coming today, for being with us. And again, we're so thankful for our speakers and their time and just sharing about their personal experiences so far. And we really wish you all the best moving forward. So thank you guys so much for your time today.